As we explore the theme of generative AI, the super skill of 2024 and beyond, I am reminded of a quote by Albert Einstein. The measure of intelligence is the ability to change. Generative AI truly captures this essence, empowering us to innovate, create, and push the boundaries of what's possible. Today's symposium isn't just about a technological leap. It's about a transformative force ready to reshape industries and unlock new levels of human potential. Let's embark on this journey to uncover the future of generative AI. I would like to invite our Chief Academic Officer and IEEE VSIT Student Branch Counselor, Dr. Sarika Chauhan, to deliver the opening remarks.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I, Dr. Sarika Chauhan, Chief Academic Officer of Information Technology and Data Science Department and the IEEE VSIT Branch Counselor and the Advisor of Women in Engineering IEEE Students Affinity Group, welcome you all to our flagship event, the Symposium on Generative AI, the new super skill of 2024 and beyond, organized by IT and DS Department in association with IEEE Entrepreneurship and IEEE VSIT Student Branch. So this symposium is designed to explore the groundbreaking potential of generative AI and its impact across various industries and professions. You all will gain valuable insights into the latest advancements, applications, and future trends of this transformative technology. The event will feature a combination of keynote speeches followed by the panel discussion, offering a dynamic exchange of knowledge and experiences. So we are privileged to have with us today's distinguished speakers who are industry professionals at the forefront of trending technologies. Mr. Chetan Mukadam, the Managing Director at Accenture, Ms. Madhavi Watve, the Solution Architect at Amazon Web Services, Mr. Sandip Dinodia, the Founder and CEO at SimplAI, and Mr. Chintan Ojha, the Founder of Anantam Ecosystem. So allow me to briefly introduce the VSIT and the IEEE Student Branch at VSIT. So Vidyalankar School of Information Technology is a part of Vidyalankar Dhyanpreet Trust and is affiliated with the Mumbai University. It is established in 2002. VSIT offers both graduate and postgraduate courses in information technology, commerce, management, and arts. VSIT has established partnership with renowned international universities such as Penn State University, the University of South Carolina, Rutgers University, Royal Roads University in Canada, among others, for 2+2 transfer program. At Department of Information Technology and Data Science of VSIT, our mission is to develop well-rounded individuals through various knowledge sharing programs and beyond syllabus activities in collaboration with various industries and committees. The IEEE VSIT Student Branch is one such technical student body in our college, forming part of IEEE, the world's largest technical professional organization dedicated to advancing technology for humanity. The Women in Engineering Affinity Group of IEEE VSIT Student Branch was established to generate the support and create opportunities for women as they navigate careers through STEM, that is science and technology. So once again, I extend a warm welcome to all of you to our flagship event, the Symposium on Generative AI, the new super skill of 2024 and beyond. I hope you find this symposium both insightful, engaging, and knowledgeable. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Sarika ma'am. Before we proceed, I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our principal, Dr. Rohini Kelkar. Although she cannot join us today due to some prior commitments, her constant support and guidance have been instrumental in our journey. Her best wishes are with us, and she remains a pillar of strength and encouragement for us. We deeply appreciate her continuous encouragement and leadership. Now, speaking of leadership and innovation, I believe everyone present here knows Steve Jobs. Yes or no? Yes, students? Okay. So, Steve Jobs once said, "Innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower." So today, we are fortunate to have with us visionary leaders who truly embody the spirit of innovation. So with that in mind, it's my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Mr. Chetan Mukadam. Chetan sir is Managing Director at Accenture, where he has achieved remarkable career progression over past 20 years. He started as a senior software engineer in January 2004 and has since advanced through various roles, showing strong leadership and expertise. Before joining Accenture, he gained valuable experience as executive logistics at Candila Pharmaceuticals and assistant manager of supply chain at Kansai Nerolac Pens. Chetan sir is a seasoned SAP and generative AI expert with over 20 years in global SAP implementations and S4 HANA transformations. He has led complex SAP projects and developed global templates for S4 HANA, focusing on improving business processes in various sectors like chemicals, metals, and mining. With master's degree in management studies from Jamnalal Bajaj Institute, Chetan sir's extensive experience and strategic vision have established him as a leading figure in this field. I invite Chetan sir on the dais. Please join me in welcoming Chetan sir. I would like to request our Vice Principal, Mr. Asif Rampurawala, to present Chetan sir with a token of our appreciation. Chetan sir, we are eager to hear your keynote address. The floor is all yours.
Thank you so much. Thank you for very warm welcome. Good afternoon, everyone. I think ma'am has already given my introduction, so I need not repeat it. It's a very interesting day today. I am very delighted to be part of this symposium today. I'm highly excited to talk about our future on generative AI. Yeah. Do I have my slides here? Thank you. So I'm sure every one of you is aware of what is GenAI, right? The transformative power of GenAI, which we are using in our day-to-day life, is changing the whole digital era. We have been talking about digital since past many years. With advent of generative AI, it is taking it to a very next level. I am here to talk about few of the things on how how generative AI is becoming a game changer in this whole digital era. There is a big business impact that GenAI is creating, not only to a student. If you take WhatsApp, there is Meta there, right? If you take anything, there is so much that is readily available for us to use. This is become very, very impactful in our day-to-day operations. Imagine an organization which can use the power of generative AI to do creative things, to do lot of things which will eliminate repetitive tasks. It will provide them with an opportunity, all the employees with an opportunity to improvise on their creative mindset, right? Today I will be introducing what GenAI is, and I will have a few of my fellow speakers who will talk about details on how generative AI in the industry is helping organizations, individuals in various fields of pharmacy, legal, medical, creative, creating wonders, right? Importance of understanding and leveraging the technology is equally important, because once we have such a powerful technology that will enable and simplify our lives, there are a lot of responsible things that we need to take care of as well, right? With advent of technology, there are a lot of things like fake news or deep fake that we easily get. That is also something that we need to govern, and if we do not govern that, it can give wrong messaging. It can do more harm than benefit to the society in large, right? So what with the rise of generative AI, all of us here understand that generative AI is increasing or improving human potential to become more creative, more in terms of his ability to become more productive, right? Examples, there are numerous examples of generative AI. For an example, if I am talking about what we do in terms of implementation of SAP projects, right? When we are doing implementation for client, there are various use cases that we can use that will help the consultants to deliver their work faster, that will help reduce the cost of the implementation, that will help organizations have a better quality of the delivery. So there are various things for which you can use Gen AI. It can be in the field of pharmacy, it can be in the field of healthcare, it can be in the field of technology. Anywhere you go, you can make use of generative AI to help you improvise your ways of working, help you improvise your productivity, help you reduce the time at which you are developing something. Today, if I am a programmer, let's take an example of companies like Accenture. We have people who are meant to do development of codes, right? Today GenAI gives you ability where the code is readily available, where you can adapt that code to whatever you want to program in a very shorter time and with minimal errors, right? It is improvising a lot of things where the productivity of individuals is becoming immensely effective. AI is also augmenting human capabilities. Traditionally, there were painters who would draw paintings or do some creative work. Now you give prompt, you will have an image that will be readily available. You tell what you want, you will be getting ideas on how to do this. So we were talking in the lunch, and when I was talking to sir, he mentioned that now if you have to write one line email, you can get 5 paragraphs of same message sent to you, right? That is the power with which your ability has grown up, right? Even for students who have to do some sort of project, they would go to ChatGPT and refer to content. This was always available in form of web where we would refer to it, but the way generative AI is changing things, it is giving you a ready-made solution to a lot of problems. So Gen AI is also been looked upon as something which is used for solving your problems, right? Enhancing your abilities, solving problem, helping things do different things. If I have my son at home, he will just call Alexa. Alexa is also one form of Gen AI. He will just ask any sum, any information, it is available at the tip of your tongue, right? So that is the power of generative AI, which we have to use in a way that will help us make better individuals. The organizations are sometimes even reluctant because the data, when you are giving out the data, there is lot of risk involved with it. there are IP or there is companies like pharma, right? They have lot of patents in their organization. If you put something on free web, it becomes available to anyone. They can make use of in a good way, or it can be more damaging to as well, right? So if you are looking at overall business outlook and unlocking new opportunities using GenAI, the companies use it for product design and development, where they would spend years of research to develop new products. Now it is done at a much lesser time, and the cost also of doing some new development is reduced drastically. So it's in a way something that GenAI is helping organizations. Content creation we spoke about is where the writers have to think creatively. Now they just have to give some idea, a very broad storyline. You will get a complete ready-made book written by GenAI. So creativity is one where you can personalize and scale it to very big extent, right? People are using it for marketing their products. If you are logging onto an Instagram or Facebook, or you start getting similar products as you would have thought that I am willing to buy, you will start getting advertisements. That is very personalized messaging that the organizations are using. Customer services, we call someone, for example, we used to call banks, right, and be on call for long hours to someone to answer. Now with GenAI there are chat bots that are available. They are almost similar to what a human interaction would be. You ask questions, it is readily giving accurate answers. So those are the opportunities where businesses, organizations are using GenAI to a big extent. Software development, I give you example, right? When we see there are sales in Amazon, right? Overnight you would see the entire platform being changed. There is so much new that comes in at such a dramatic fast speed. That is all possible because of the power of GenAI. There are n number of examples where you can use power of GenAI to help businesses in real life scenarios, right? I mentioned about being responsible with the usage of GenAI. Ethics and governance forms a big, it is part of culture of many big organizations. So you have to be very sensitive to what kind of information you are putting onto GenAI, or what kind of content is getting generated. There is always bias or fairness. GenAI, if you understand how it operates, it is learning from the data that it gets, right? It is continuously learning. If you are giving the right, correct data, the output that GenAI will be giving will be correct. If you are feeding in wrong information, it will be biased and it will be unfair, because you will start getting output which is biased towards the data that has been fed into the GenAI. There are a lot of decisions that organizations make, and transparency on how, and they use GenAI for making certain decisions, right? It is very important to be transparent or for the user to understand what is, how is this getting generated, how is the output getting generated. So transparency in making AI enabled decisions and understanding what kind of process it has gone through is extremely important. There are laws in various regions. For example, in Europe there is GDPR, which forbids anyone from use of any personal information, right? If I am sitting in India today and I want to see some information about people in Europe, there are GDPR laws which forbid me from doing so, right? So privacy of individual, privacy of organization, privacy is an extremely important topic, which GenAI, when you are using GenAI, you need to be careful on what is been asked or what has been generated as an output. Accountability of usage of GenAI is also an important point, right? When I as an individual am generating something, there could be, like, I want to write a poem or song, right? You just tell that I want a song to be written or a poem to be written. You have to be accountable to what you are generating, because it has a lot of copyrights. There are people who would have spent creative minds to write that, right? If I am just generating something out of the historical information which is fed, I should be accountable to what I am going to publish, where I am going to use it. It is very important that we, as a responsible individual, make right use of GenAI, right? So that is something that we need to take care of as a responsible citizen. Then about productivity gains, what we can do as a organization in improving your productivity. Harnessing GenAI for growth is an important aspect, where routine mundane tasks of generating weekly reports or something which can be automated is something you can let those simple repetitive tasks be given to the GenAI type of things. If for example, if I am a CIO of an organization and if I want to look at what is my production at a particular plant, I don't need expensive reports to be created. I could just write a prompt and say, show me the production of the day in this particular plant, and there are models which can be built on your database which will start fetching that information real time from your ERP systems. Enhancing creativity. There is lot of creative work in different fields that has been done. You can easily use GenAI to enhance your creativity with human mindset. Decision support, data driven decisions can be made easily. Personalized learning. In various places where you have to personalize learning based on individual requirement, you could use GenAI to generate a learning course or training material which is very personalized. When we as an IT organization are giving training, there are different departments and different user has different need. You cannot teach everyone the same level of SAP, right? You have to tell a user that this is your role and you will need to function, or you will need this transaction to run. This is your day in life, how it is going to be. So that kind of personalization is very important, and you can use GenAI to personalize things for individuals. So this is where we have a power of GenAI. And if you look at the future outlook, how things are evolving, GenAI has been there always. Traditionally it was machine learning, deep learning, a lot of things. It has evolved, but the speed at which it is now moving ahead is amazing, right? There are a lot of use cases that we can actually talk about, and I have my fellow speakers who will be showing us some demo, some use cases as well. So if I have to conclude, GenAI as a cornerstone of any business strategy is an important aspect which we are embarking on. It is a journey, and you as next generation are going to live with it, right? You are going to make a major impact on the various uses of GenAI. Our commitment to be a responsible user of GenAI is very important, and it is a continuous learning for everyone, and adaptation to this is what we are looking forward to. Yeah. Thank you very much. With that, I would invite Madhavi. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Chetan sir, for your enlightening address. Your insights into generative AI have surely set the stage open for discussion. As we continue to explore the transformative power of generative AI, I am thrilled to introduce our next speaker, Ms. Madhavi Watve, a solutions architect at Amazon Web Services. With over 20 years of experience in application development, solution design, and enterprise architecture, Madhavi Madam has made remarkable contribution to the tech industry. Her career is impressive, having held significant positions at top-tier companies like Capgemini, TCS, Blue Star Infotech, and Siemens Information Systems. From her beginning as a software engineer to his role as an IT architect, she has constantly demonstrated a deep expertise in designing and developing innovative solutions across various sectors. Madhavi ma'am holds a master's degree in computer engineering from Pune Institute of Computer Technology, and she is backed by an array of AWS certifications including Solutions Architect, Security, Data Analytics, Advanced Networking, and Developer Associate. Beyond her professional achievements, she is an avid reader, a fan of binge watching, and a passionate traveler who loves exploring new destinations. Please join me in welcoming Madhavi ma'am. I would like to invite our Chief Academic Officer, Dr. Sarika Chauhan, to present a memento. Ma'am, please. You have the next slides. No. That's no. Okay. Thank you for this warm welcome. I also thank Chintan Ozha sir, Sarika madam, and all the organizers of this wonderful event to come and present my thoughts about generative AI. I'm bad with speakers, looks like. Yeah, so as I was saying, thank you very much for this opportunity to connect with young generation. It's very exciting and lovely to see the young minds, tomorrow's workforce in the audience. It's a change for me, okay? So as Madam gave me my introduction, my name is Madhavi. I'm a hardcore techie. From the long introduction, what you should get is I'm a techie and I'm a whole technical person, and that's what I do in my professional life. So let's begin with a simple question. Am I audible? Okay. So can you imagine your life without a smartphone or without a laptop? So answer is no. We cannot imagine our life without these gadgets. And the answer is these are the technical innovations or disruptive innovations that we have gone through in last 20 years or 30 years. So if you talk about disruptive technology, it is something, the innovation that will change your life, that will change the way we live, we work, and it becomes an integral part of your life system, lifestyle, okay? So we cannot imagine our life without a phone, and such latest innovation is generative AI, which is going to change our life forever, for better, obviously. So generative AI is a technology which is a superpower, which is a latest innovation, which is already into our lives. So everyone in this room, I'm sure, must have used ChatGPT at least once, at least to explore what it is. We have Meta on our WhatsApp. So that's the GenAI, which is already been introduced to the end consumer even before businesses started adopting it. So my son, 2 years ago when he was in 10th grade, he wrote an essay for his exercise using ChatGPT. That's the kind of integration it has brought into consumers' life. So let us define what is generative AI. In simple term,
it is a technology which can produce original content for you. And the original content generated by this system is as original, as similar to what a human can create. Now when I say content, it can be image, it can be audio, it can be video, or it can be text. Everything that we consume digitally on our gadgets, on our devices is content, and that can be generated by this technology, hence the name generative artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence had been with us in the form of machine learning for many decades, or not decades, some years now. But this technology is disruptive because it can generate on its own. With one instruction, it can create content for you, and that's the whole game changer. Okay. So we defined what is GenAI. It can create content for you. Now let's see where this can be used. So we saw the consumer case. People like you and me are using generative AI for some or the other purpose in our life. But there are far better use cases with the businesses, with the organizations or companies as we call, to change how they operate their business, how they do their business, right? So generative AI has very exciting opportunities that companies are trying to explore or are on that path to adopt this technology. For example, every website or every commercial app that we see today has a chat bot, right? There is a chat either for querying or for customer service. Now these chatbots have been around for a while, but with generative AI, these discussions, these communications are going to be more smarter. The responses that you get on chat are more human-like because they are backed by generative AI now. Okay, so enhancing consumer experience is a very big business requirement for retail CPG customers, for travel industry customers. Anything who has to do with direct consumer, they have customer experience business requirement in a very large scale, and they're adopting generative AI to build those use cases, to build those kind of architectures, applications using this new technology. Coming to the actual workforce, the employees, how do you enhance productivity? He mentioned you can use generative AI to boost the performance and productivity of your workforce. How is that so? Let's say organizations process lot of documents. It could be scope documents, it could be contract documents, invoices, historical data. If somebody has to extract some portion of historical data and write a paper about it or refer it for some other use case, then somebody has to read through those PDFs and then summarize the document, summarize the information. Now with GenAI, nobody wants to read it. You just feed the documents to the model or to the generative AI application, and it will create a summary for you. For example, minutes of meeting. All we business people have lot of meetings over the day. Somebody is taking notes of the meeting, and then they will share those minutes of meeting at the end of the meeting, that this was discussed, these were the participants, these are the actions, next steps. Okay. Now the tools like Teams or Zoom, they are listening to your call when it is happening. It will automatically create a minutes of meeting for you, right? So these are simple use cases I'm trying to put forward, but in short what I'm trying to say is document summarization is a very huge use case that industries are trying to adopt, right? For development community, as he mentioned, now code has become earlier, like in my days, or even you, when you are writing code, you will go and Google for syntax or some piece of code, then you will assemble it and put it in your console and complete your program or whatever logic you are writing. Now you just enter into ChatGPT that I want to write a function to add two numericals in Java, and it will produce the code for you. So that's the power it is bringing into the hands of professionals, and this is how industries or companies are trying to improve productivity of their employees. Okay. So when I was mentioning about business process or document processes, lot of things can be automated with the help of generative AI. So this is the kind of disruption or transformation that this generative AI technology is bringing into life of businesses as well as end consumers like us. Okay, so these are very popular use cases that I see in my day-to-day life that organizations are trying to explore. They're trying to build something on these lines. Okay, So you may ask which industry? Is it retail? It is manufacturing? So short answer is everybody. There is no industry, there is no business which can now shy away from adopting generative AI into their business. So it could be retail, it could be healthcare, it could be manufacturing, finance. Everybody is trying to integrate generative AI into some or the other use case that they have. They are trying to solve their business problems. They are trying to solve their way of doing business by adopting this technology. So no industry is leaving behind. They are adopting it. It's a hot, or how do I say, it's the buzzword in companies now. Everybody is talking about it and everybody wants to do something with GenAI. So enough talking about generative AI. So far we saw what is generative AI. It is something that can create content for you. Where it can be used in blah 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 places. Now let's see what is it actually. So you must have heard names like Cohere, Claude, Llama or Bard or Gemini. What is this? These are all called as large language models or foundation models. What is foundation model? Foundation model is the brain or is the engine that powers the whole game of generative AI. So in simple term, if I have to place, foundation model is a super complex algorithm which is trained on massive amounts of data with huge number of parameters. So when I say massive amount of data and parameters, we are talking about billions of parameters, not hundreds, not thousands. We are talking about billions of parameters. Some hundreds of billions of parameters are being used to train the foundation model or algorithm, as historically we call it as. So because it is trained on such high amount of data, obviously it is super smart. The models that we have are super smart. They are literally able to digest or understand any complex concept or any complex problem that we throw at it. And foundation for that is the data that they are trained on. This is the slide I am on.
On the screen went blank.
Oh, okay.
HTML निकाल के करना पड़ेगा. What is
How much of generative AI we have, we can't solve. Did I get an answer for that?
That's a problem. There will be some jobs which will remain.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Simple HP. It's getting detected, but something is wrong.
Just come. Yeah.
It's coming. not wrong. I think
Yeah, there it is.
प्रेझेंटेशन काढतोय तर दिसतंय. Everything else comes.
So thinking, okay.
Everything else comes. It's coming in, it's flickering.
Good one.
What we'll do is temporarily we'll directly push the PPT from there and then you just say next.
Yes. Chatting. I don't need this.
You can keep this if you want.
Cool. And we are back. Yeah. Okay. So let's continue. We saw the use cases that it can solve for businesses, for our lives, and we were talking about the models. So foundation model, as I was saying, is a super complex algorithm which is trained on massive amounts of data. And because it is trained on such vast volumes of data which are openly available on internet, which is unlabeled, unstructured data, that means when you query Google, whatever you get, that information is probably used to train the foundation model. And that is how it has learnt whatever is available on internet. Okay. Because of this reason, it can solve many problems. So if you can go next on next slide. Traditionally, if any of you has learnt machine learning or some part of machine learning, we know machine learning models are in already use, right? But machine learning model tries to solve one particular use case at a time. So if you are generating a model or if you are training a model for demand forecasting and you are generating a model for sentiment analytics, you cannot use one for the other use case, right? Because they are different in nature. They are trying to solve different problem statement. However, with generative AI, because it is trained on vast amounts of data within the same domain, you can use it for multiple use cases. So when I say multiple use cases, if you are taking a text generation model, something like Llama or GPT, it is capable of creating, or you can use GPT model or Llama model to create text summary. You can use it to create essays, you can create poems out of it, you can create chatbot applications out of it, because everything that has to do with text, it is capable of doing that application, doing that job for you. If you use a model which is capable of generating videos or audios or images for you, in that domain you can do all those things. So it is not bound for a use case or a particular use case. So that's the whole game changer or whole difference. Where is the other? Between machine learning and foundation models. So machine learning has been there, but generative AI is a super advanced version of what we had in machine learning. Okay, it is capable of doing multiple things with the same model. You don't have to create different models for different purposes, right? It's super complex. Can you go next? So I gave you examples of models, right? You know there is GPT, there is Gemini, there is Stable Diffusion. So question comes, how do I select a model for my use case? So simple answer, you have to see what is your input and what is it that you want to derive out of it. And depending on that, you will use a model. So all these text models also, like GPT, Gemini, Phi, Titan, these are all text models. But if your use case is simple enough, you will go for a simple model which is trained on lesser amount of data probably. But if you are dealing with a very super complex use case, you need a highly trained model. So like we choose laptop configurations, like I need 64 GB RAM or 128 GB RAM, accordingly you will use a model which is apt for your use case, because it is going to cost you, the cost is going to be different for different type of models that you are going to use. So in short, you have input, you know what output you want to produce, and depending on these two things you will use the right model for you. So we spoke about text model, we spoke about image generation models. There are multimodal models also. When I say multimodal, a model or foundation model or the algorithm that we spoke, which is capable of dealing with two types of contents like text and image or video, or multiple such modalities, is called multimodal models. So all these terms are new, they are jargons, but if you simplify it, multimodal is a thing which can just deal with two or more modalities. Text models are only for text, they cannot generate image for you. Stable diffusion can create images for you, it cannot generate text for you. So these are simple terms which are coming up, and in nutshell this is what it is. Depending on your input and what output you want to derive, you will choose a model for you. Okay, so can we go next? We spoke about what is generative AI, we spoke the use cases. Now let's see how it actually works. I am giving a very high level overview. It is not the actual architecture, but at a 10,000 feet view, if you see, this is the architecture that you will find getting into the applications. So I can't move now. On the left you have a query or the prompt, as we call, that you give to the model. So when you say I want to write an essay on XYZ, that sentence that you pass to the model is your query, or it is called prompt. That is the input you are giving. The application who is taking that input from you will send that input to the model. Model already knows the subject or the essay that you are trying to write. So from that knowledge base, it will create a essay for you and it will return the response. Now you can give more formative instructions like restrict to 200 words, or restrict to 2 pages or 4 pages. Make it gender neutral, make it non-racist. All those commands you can give. So that is called prompt engineering. How you enter a command more useful or in a more meaningful way, so that it will give you a correct output. That is called prompt engineering. So in simple way, there is input, the prompt that goes to the model, it gives you response. This all will work fine for very generic use cases or the data which is generally available on internet. But tomorrow if I have a question that who is the best outgoing student of Vidyalankar, will I get answer from ChatGPT? Probably not, because the best outgoing student of Vidyalankar will be defined on different parameters: academics, sports, cultural activities, and that data, who has performed well in all these aspects, is not available on internet. It is somewhere in your college's database, right? So if I have to generate output for such a question which is based on my data, I have to tweak the technology, I have to use something else than foundation model, and that is what is called as RAG. I will show you what is RAG. So let us take the input. I asked a question, who is the best outgoing student of Vidyalankar? My application knows I have to derive data from my college's database. It is not available on public internet. So that query, when I receive, the application will receive this blue application. It will go and search in my college's database. It will look for historical records on academics, on sports, on cultural, blah, blah, blah. It will get information, and along with the query or the prompt that I passed, it will merge that information with it, and now these two pieces of information it will send to the generative AI model or LLM. Now LLM knows where to look for the answer. It has information where it should search for the answer. So it will look for all those parameters in the information that you are passing, and then accordingly it will give you output. Probably it will give you reasoning also, that this fellow has done academically like this, he has participated in these events, he or she, again gender neutral, is a good sports person, and hence he or she is the best outgoing person or student of Vidyalankar. Now in this process what you did is you tweaked or you augmented the behavior of foundation model by passing your information, passing your data to the model. Model did not have that information. Model did not know about this data, but you passed that data. So when you augment the generation capacity of foundation model, then the term comes retrieval augmentation generation. So you retrieved the data from your data sources, you augmented the behavior by passing that data to the model. Model is still the same, right? It has the same capacity, but now you are telling it that where to look for the data, and you are tweaking its behavior, you are tweaking its generation capability by providing your data to the model. And this is the most popular architecture you will see in most of the use cases. Again, this is a very high level architecture. I have not added any complex things like vectors or vector databases or agents, but more or less from 10,000 feet overview, if you see, this is what you will see, barring the nuances that are there. So keep in mind, RAG is a popular technology where without fine tuning a model, without generating your own model, if you are using readily available model with your data, this is the technique most likely you will be using. Okay, can we go next? So far we have been talking about foundation models. So understood, foundation model is a technology which is brain, which is powering the generative AI, right? But generative AI is not only foundation model, it is just tip of the iceberg, okay? Can we go next? So what we see is tip, what we see is foundation models, what we see is GPT, what we see is Gemini. But to train those models, what has gone into it, what is underneath it is the data. The data that is openly available, which is unstructured, unlabeled, which is available on internet, that has gone into the training. And with the RAG what we saw, you will provide your own data to change the behavior of model, right? So data is what is actually fueling the foundation models, or making it capable of what it is today. That foundation is data. And now when we talk of data, as he was mentioning, a lot of responsibility comes. So there are a lot of configurations and considerations that should be taken into account when you are using generative AI to build your applications. So considerations like responsible AI. What is responsible AI? How you use the technology. Is it abusing? Is it creating any misleading content? It is creating harmful content? Is it giving you wrong results? All that you have to ensure when you are building applications, and that is what responsible AI means. When you are dealing with data, there will be considerations around how will you ensure data privacy, how will you ensure data access, how will you ensure data governance. So a lot of things go into building a foundation model and also using the foundation model. So together this will create, or I mean whatever you see on this screen, together put together is generative AI. So generative AI is not only a foundation model, it is fueled by data and the responsibility that comes with that data. Okay. So with this, it has given, or it has created a pathway for upcoming skills. That is what we are discussing today. So let's see what skills are now hot in the market or will get hot in the market going forward. So we spoke about foundation models. Generating those models or training those models is one skill where machine learning scientists will be required. So as a model trainer or as a model creator, you will need a lot of machine learning understanding, maybe programming languages like Python, etc. A lot of AI frameworks. So that is one aspect of generative AI. The rest of the ecosystem is about how you use generative AI. So things like how will you manage data, how will you curate data, how will you ensure data quality is good, whatever you are supplying to the foundation model is right. So all that will come under data management, data governance, who accesses what, is my data going out of my organization, all that will come under data governance. Security, so as he was mentioning, many countries and many governments are coming up with regulations and legal boundings around how you use data or how you use generative AI. So somebody, or there will be task force which is required to oversee these operations, right? So lot of avenues and lot of skills are, so if you see job market transformation, earlier there was mechanical, then came software. With the boom of software, everybody wanted to get into IT, and now data analytics and probably GenAI, all these skills are going to be the next hot thing as you enter the job market, right? So not everybody needs to be a ML scientist. There are a lot of other avenues and opportunities that you can look for as you come out of college, right? So these are the skills that you should be looking for, or you should be trying to acquire when you are entering the professional life. Moving on, where do you get started? So this all is Gyan. GenAI is this, GenAI is that. How do I get started learning it? So best place to start, because I'm from AWS, is obviously AWS. Can we go to the next slide? Yeah. So AWS, you obviously know, is a cloud platform, and it has whole lot of services where you can get started. At the bottom, you have infrastructure layer. So this is for the people who want to create their own foundation model, or they want to retrain or fine-tune models. For retraining or fine-tuning, you need compute resources, meaning large servers basically with large configurations. So AWS obviously provides that. On the top, you have readily available applications which are backed by generative AI. So you can, something like ChatGPT, you can start using it, and behind it is using generative AI. So you can start exploring those. And in the middle is where the interesting thing happens, Bedrock. So Bedrock is a service which will enable you to use all these models as if it is an API. So if I want to call, so for example, you are using ChatGPT, but that interface is built for you. You don't know how to call GPT model actually. ChatGPT is doing for you. If you want to build that kind of interface using GPT model or using Titan model, you can use Bedrock as a service. What Bedrock does is, it will give you APIs. You understand API, right? A function call. So you will mention which model you want to use, you will pass the prompt, and you can experiment with it. So Bedrock is a service which enables you calling your foundation models as if it is an API call, and that's where you can start dirtying your hands with your experiments. So I encourage, go and check, for that matter, I mean, I'm from AWS, so I'm giving Bedrock, but you can check any cloud platform, they are giving you these platforms, and that is where you can get started. Okay, so that's my last slide. Thank you very much. Happy learning.
Thank you, Madhavi ma'am, for sharing your insights on GenAI and its broader applications by taking various use cases. So thank you, ma'am. Moving forward, I am excited to introduce our next distinguished speaker, Mr. Sandip Dinodia. Sandip sir is founder and CEO of SimplAI. With 15 years of robust professional experience, Sandip sir has developed deep expertise in e-commerce, cloud networks, blockchain, and logistic technology. Before founding SimplAI, he was the Chief Technology and Product Officer at Emiza Incorporated and Chief Technology Officer at Picker, where he led engineering initiatives and nurtured young talent. Sandip sir careers include significant roles at prominent tech companies such as Oyo, Lenskart, Cisco, Wipro, and Sonos Networks. His leadership has driven the creation of cutting-edge systems and the growth of high-performance teams across India, USA, Netherlands, and Japan. An enthusiastic tech advocate, Sandip sir has been involved in numerous global events, publications, is an angel investor and mentor to many startups. His notable investments span various sectors including EV technology, healthcare, and e-commerce. Passionate about innovative ideas, Sandip sir enjoys chess as a hobby, adding strategic edge to his professional pursuits. Please join me in welcoming Sandip sir. I would like to invite Ms. Pushpa Mahapatro, Head of the Department of Networking Cluster, to welcome Mr. Sandip sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Is it working? I hope. Internet is working. Which one? Shall I use mine? Yes. It's not coming. What should do? Tell me. If you can. I mean, I'll try my best. It's not coming down. You are also the same. Only two. But I'll do. Can't do it. This is my iPhone. Yeah, okay. I'm hope you let it connect. What, tell me. I'm hoping it will come down. No, it's not working. Which one? We'll connect this. I hope we already connected. I hope this will work. Yeah, this is much better. I don't know. Let's see. Hello, am I audible? Great. Okay. I think you guys, thank you so much for inviting me here. Thank you students for joining at least on Saturday afternoon. It's hard, I know that. Also, I think thanks for the Sarika ma'am, sir, and Chintan and all my colleagues. I think it's great experience to sharing some of the thoughts. If internet works, then we'll talk about AI. Let works. I don't know. Okay, so I'll talk about bit about SimplAI, how it is born, and then we'll come about some of the stuff. So SimplAI is a brainchild of when I was brainstorming 15 months back that, hey, what should I do next stint of my life? Usually once you are, just, somewhere in a cushy job, you don't want to leave it, right? You are pretty comfortable leaving it. So I was in that phase that, hey, I need to build something big. And believe me, I'll just say with all the conscience, we'll make it big. So from there, that what it is need to be built, it's just not about saying big, what needs to be built. So that's what the idea, hey, what's the gap and how we are moving towards. And I think by that time, we all were juggling and chaos, hey, where the technology is going, because there were many technology came around it, we all know, right? But this one has different phenomenon, and by this time we realized it also. I think we talked about multiple part of it, how and what, but we would able to give a shape to that, hey, that you can start building. Rather than thinking or doing something, you can let's start building, let's start scaling, let's start serving, let's start enjoying. That's what the SimplAI born. What it is, it's the platform where, and largely it is being built for the enterprises, where you can build all the secure, scalable, reliable, and faster AI application. Believe me, you can think of, you can build it. For that, what are the bottlenecks of building? Let's assume the first is the tech complexity. Largely, who can build these applications? Only techies can build these applications. Obviously, because of nature of the, the technologies, right? And if we talk about how many techies in this world, I'm talking about all the engineering segments. There are 30 million engineers, which is 30, across the world. Now, will all 30 million engineers can build their application? Answer is no. Because there are segment of engineers. Even you pass out, let's say from CS or IT, I've been CS student, but let's say if there are many students who are from different branches, right? They may or may not go into those streams, depend on that. In India, we largely, because opt for that, where larger services roles are available, so that we usually go into that. So the idea is, if we all can't build, then who will build those applications if that has the real moat? And now by this time, we know that GenAI has the real moat. You can't ignore it, believe me. Otherwise, you will be vanished out of it. And that's the bold statement, but that's what it is. Now come to the point where there are only few thousand engineers who really understand neural networks, or I would say at high level ML at core. Only few thousands in the world. There are few millions who we call it as a data scientist who understand NLPs at surface or deeper meaning of it. There are DevOps engineer who manages the infra. I think there are 5 million around. There are application engineers who build application on top of it. Let's say there are 5 to 10 of range. There are other segment of engineers as well, like QA, UI, UX, and so on, right? And there are segmentation. I'm not going into it. For any application, if you build, you required a 5 segment of engineer. Anything you see out of it, if anyone building GenAI application, you required 5 type of engineers. If somebody is not a, that expert, that having all the kind of expertise in it. Now, if that is the case, and if this has the moat, how will you serve approximately, let's say, 8 billion people of this world, or multi-million organization in this world? And the opportunity is so vast. There is no joke around it. So it means there is a huge opportunity, but the bottleneck is there. So it means how all the engineers can start building. It means you guys are in the mainstream, by the way. Because from the 2000 era where the internet broke, and then a lot of companies, until this point we are digitizing a lot of companies, right? Still the era is being changed now, a lot of things gonna happen. So this is the opportunity I think you should grab by both hands, no matter what stream you are. You can compete with any branch, no matter what. It means your IQ has to be at, in my opinion, your IQ has to be at certain level, no matter what branch you are studying. The first. Second is because if we are talking about, all enterprises, or because where the job's gonna create, it's gonna create in different segments. If they're gonna do that, they're gonna hire those people. They wanna build themselves, the nature of it. It's hard because in market you can't able to have those folks. Obviously, it's a scarcity. Believe me, I wanna hire people, but I can't get it because that's the problem. So if you know something, you start executing, it's easier for you to grab that jobs, easy. Whether the other person is pretty good in coding, maybe, because less of the coding is required. I'm not sure how many of you know Andre. So it's like he's one of the guy who is pretty, I would say, respectable in the field. He says, I can't able to do the coding now that I supposed to because I need assistance. Absolutely. Let's say I want to go from one solution to another. I just want to just tell, hey, I don't want to write that same code I was writing. Hey, write code for me, I'll review and then put it. Review, put it. So it means it increase my productivity and decrease my number of hours so I can productize it. At the same time, because the era is moving where the same repetitive jobs which can be automated, that will 100% automate. We always say, hey, people gonna replace, job will finish. Believe me, there is no job will be finishing, but if you are not using AI, you will be finished. The people who will using AI will replace you for sure. That's gonna happen. This is what is the brutal truth about it, and the potential is humongous. No ambiguity. I don't see any ambiguity because I've been building this along with, I've been on the adoption side, I've been working with the large enterprises, small enterprises, and with the different countries also. It means I have seen those eras shifting. So this is part that we start building along with the cost, because everyone is optimizing on cost so that you can easily start building those part. I'll just go through that. I think Madhavi and sir already talked about it, what all the pillars and part of it. I think I'll start straightforward from the, it's not coming up. How we can build that applications, how it is easy to build it as well. Okay. It's not coming, I guess. No, it's okay. I hope I'll not touch it. Man. Okay. It seems like that you might not able to see it. Sorry? किसमें? इसमें? I don't know. I really don't know what's happening here.
ये पेन में वो होती है ना इसकी.
Hotspot is also not good. Let's hope for it. It's work. I don't know. Is it working or it's happening for that? You can put it in this if it can work. I'm hoping that this internet is also not working. Your auditorium is juggling. Okay. No.
ऑडिटोरियम से कंटिन्यू हो रहा है ऑडिटोरियम वाला
नहीं अभी नहीं आ रहा ना, अभी आना शुरू हुआ है बट इट्स नॉट कमिंग।
एक्चुअली सर ये सपोर्ट नहीं कर रहा है इसको, ये आईफोन का है ना, तो मैक का इसमें सपोर्ट नहीं कर रहा
आपके
है।
पास दूसरा लैपटॉप है तो वो दे दो
दूसरा कनेक्टर लगाना पड़ेगा।
मेरे को दूसरा दो। Sorry guys, it seems like it's not working. I mean, just will juggle up the second one. Oh, this is just, can you check this? I'm bad this. Which internet? Okay. I hope this works. Let's see. Internet is bad, so just bear with it. Okay. It's really bad internet. Okay, great. I think we'll start from here. So if anything you want to build it, it's required larger 4 pillars. Anything, I mean, you can think of, let's say, any problem. And if you start building with, let's say, for the matter of fact, AI, you require generally 4 pillars for solving those problems. And there are another, part of the Legos you require to build. You can, and there are on left pane, then we'll just start, showing. First, you might require a model because it's the base part. It means there are 2 flavor in models, which one is your foundation, I mean open source and closed source. I guess all of you know about what does it mean, right? No? Yes? Okay, great. Okay, I got the great audience then. So there is open source, which you can control and contribute to the code, and there are different type of licenses you can commercialize and so on, but you need to maintain entirety of it. So here it is, all the type of model is available. I mean, anything, everything you can think. It means we are integrated with the Hugging Face, your GitHub, you can ingest your own model also. It means once you say open source, it means there is a LLM ops story also comes around, because you need to maintain your model along with it, because for the enterprises, scale matter. Building POC is fine, by the way, but scale matter. It means there might be a millions of millions requests keep on coming on day, or maybe if you are a pretty hot e-commerce maybe, then maybe in certain minutes as well. You can in interface that you can start having your modalities, your functions, your architecture. If you wanna know about it, that you can go. Let's say any of the model, you can just, I'm going in the Mixtral here. You can directly, since it is already deployed, because usually otherwise you can have the CTA of deploy, it goes and choose your instances and deploy there. But you can want to fine tune for your use cases, since we built it for the enterprises, because they have their own data they don't want to share with anyone. Also, they can choose the model and then start fine tuning. You can directly integrate, because these are foundational model, they have the capabilities to certain level trained also, you can talk to them, right? And you can directly have the playground. I'll go from the playground. Let's say I'll talk to this model. Once you install, you can easily talk. So it's all no code, low code. You don't need to worry about what and where you need to go here. Let's say you fine tune your model, all of your flavors are available. You can choose and then start doing. I'll ask this question here and I'll reference it a minutes later. Internet is, so bear with it. So I'm asking caffeine, and I'll give you context. It cannot identify the caffeine, what it is. And I'm asking the model which is there in the Hugging Face, and it's a Mistral. Now let's say if I want to integrate directly these models, because I can directly take the API or webhook. This API keys be generated. These are the, the part you want a webhook. Some of the terminology you may or may not know. I mean, I don't expect that, but I think you should know as well. There are directly connections that you can start doing. Let's say if this model you want to connect, you can have your, direct connections. You don't need to worry about. You want to directly take your embed and SDKs as well. So it means you can consume your, and then this is applicable for all AI applications. What do I mean by all AI applications? It could be workflows, it could be AI agents, it could be tools. There are three parts we usually call it. Now, let's say if I want to do the fine tuning with my data, I'm coming here, back. I'm pretty bad at with Windows, by the way, so sorry. It's like in different, and then view is also a bit different here for me. You can't able to see the screen, right? Okay. I'll take the existing file maybe somewhere. I'm just giving you the part of it. You can have your all the LoRa techniques here, which you can quantify. You want to have epochs and all. These are all data science team usually do that. You can choose your clouds here. I mean, it's, let's say, cloud agnostic. We can go and build in any cloud. Now it starts penning the machines, and then infra ready, and then your training will start. It means your auto pipeline will be ready. So it means essentially I didn't do anything. It's just pick up a model. I just started talking, and that I did within minutes, by the way. And it's that as simple as that. It means you train with your smaller set of data. Definitely if the data is bigger, that you can start doing it. This is a one part where you wanna be discovery of models. I mean, what kind of model you want, why you want. All the closed source as well, like I think ChatGPT by this time, this has all the flavors. Gemini, Mistral, QX, everything or anything that it is there. You can just put your keys and start connecting. That's it. The best part about it, once you connect or deploy any model, it is available across all of your applications. It means you don't need to take a hustle. Hey, I deployed, I trained, what should I do? How do I build it? We'll come back on this. So this is a one part where I would say let's say the model discovery. I think Madhavi talk about the RAGs, which is like, you can start building. Let's say you don't want to train with your use cases, but you want to build the application, and that to production grade. You go in the knowledge base. You can start creating, let's say, again there are two type of data sets everywhere, your structured and unstructured, and these both the data sets to be treated separately. I'll take up unstructured, like it means all the PDFs or something sort of. Again, there are two type of settings. If you don't know about, you can go about it. Let's say I don't know much of it, then let's say default. If you are engineer and you understand, you can start going all the vector database. By the way, all the flavors are available here. For this user, it's been connected for 2 maybe. Embedding models, I want to choose, let's say 70% of similarity score, or maybe I'll go for top 5 results. I'll enable the re-rank also. What do I mean by that? Let's say So this is created. Now all of your base configurations are there, and by the way, this, if you wanna build this, this is all different flavors. It means it takes weeks to do that in a normal, if you know about it also. I'll just insert a simple data set. Let's say what data sets, I'll just tell you. Here I'm taking all the US companies details. This data is taken from Traction about their fundings. There are 40-50 companies. I'll just show. Caffeine is one of them, by the way. That's what I talk about to that model. Caffeine is was talking, he was not understanding. Now let's go. Again, if any data you are inserting, you need to, by the way, how many students are from CSIT here? Eric? Acha, oh, relevant audience. Very good. Then these guys know. Okay, great. So it means like, you know, you have these parsers and all. Let's say advanced parser is nothing but, and these are all proprietary, where the OCR is also happening, your data is also capturing your, let's say in your PDF, lot of complex data is keep on coming, which your graphs, your tables and all will go here. Here it is, chunking is happening at runtime. Now we can see each chunk. This is the caffeine I was talking about. They raised $149 million in multiple rounds and all. There is a wrestling, and these are base information about each chunk here. All the chunks you can, whatever the chunks you want to see, you see that what data is going. It means you have the granularity control about your data. Let's say again you don't want to go, you say, hey, I want to try my own. You can have a different, you know, let's say I'll say recursive splitter. I'll go for different type of splitter. And I said I'm bad at Windows, so yeah. Again, because if you say this is my chunking strategy, now if you see each chunk is coming as a one organization that you have, you say, hey, I like this strategy, and I just do the import. Now what will be happening here? Your data will be ingesting to your KB that you build it. Now it's in queue because it's, as I said, it's built for scale. You might be ingesting tera or petabyte of data because organization has this set of datas. Since this is look like, you know, very no code, low code, so it's easier for you to configure and then build in production so that no one knows about the nuancicity of AI. By the way, this is going with the pure AI, GenAI part of it, which we are building it here. And all production grade is the way it is working, you can directly just put it into your production. Now it's completed, let's say ingestion. What I'll do, I'll just type what is caffeine. Reason being, we are doing the experimentation. Let's say, great, whatever I typed it, it's giving, it means my retrieval is fine. Whatever I have asked, it's giving me the proper chunk. It means the knowledge base is yours. Let's say if I am a company for, you know, market research, or maybe all the, let's say Traction, Crunchbase, PitchBook, these are the relevant companies for this kind of segment where people pay for knowing about the funding and all. So let's say I just did this. It means it is working. If it is not working, you can tweak your parameter and just play it around. Once this is fine, you say, hey, let's build the workflow. What I'll build, I'll just quickly build an application. By the way, this is the real application. I'm building a, let's say, conversational ones. For this, I think I talked about all the models are available. For this particular user, it's a multi-tenant architecture where you, I think I chosen a different models. I'll choose the Mistral, which is open source. If I want to have the different of flavors as well, the technique that we fine tuning you available. All the hyperparameter, if you know these parameter, you can start tweaking, or let's say system prompt if you want to do it your own prompts. I'm skipping those as well. I mean, let's choose the knowledge base because we build a knowledge base test VSIT here. We ingested data about those companies. You can choose multiple also. Now this is the, you know, before launching your AI application conversational, let's test it. Is it working or not working, or what is happening? Because initially I asked the model, it was just not giving me. I inserted the data which is relevant to that. Now I'm building an applications. Let's see that what it says. Wow, it's working it seems. Great. Array, that's so it's giving me the proper results. I didn't fine tune also. I just did a pretty much, use the knowledge base. I saved, let's say if you are a organization, I saved multi 100K or maybe $1 million for you. Just, use the racks and all. And then definitely you need to fine tune because it's a first part. As well, you can control the tonality from the, part of it. Let's say you are building a legal application, it means it required a lot of accuracies. Let's say you are building healthcare also, it's required a lot of accuracy, but let's say you are building a funny application, so it's required a lot of humor. So you tune down your temperatures and all those details so that it is easier for you the kind of application you are building, right? I'm just thinking, hey, it's great, it's built, let's save and launch. Now you are done, it means you can directly integrate and you are done with the application, it will scale immensely. By the way, it means, and you can start, managing your applications and then it will give you the answers. That's it. This is what it's you able to build the conversational. But I'll tell you, conversational is 10 to 15% of use cases in any organization. It is not more than that. Usually, let's talk about, the complex use cases which you built. I mean, what kind of complex use cases? It could be in a different domains. Some of that we already listed here. Let's say you are in a research domain and you want to do that. By the way, it's like all the domains that you can go, like ask internet, web search. Let's say you are in a sales, you can start building through the tooling. I'll come back on how you can build it. Let's say you are in healthcare, media, customer support, travel and all. Just a lot of templates are available. You use it directly ready-made. If it is not, you can tweak them or build on your own. So these are for the help of it. Let's say I'm taking the complex one. I'll just take, let's say, company research one. So in a build mode, you can take it. Again, this is a no code, low code. You can take any inputs. I'm taking a text input. So any, let's say, I'll just give a, let's build a report about, please let me know if, is it right? Correct? Okay, I guess it should catch that as well, but it's fine. Okay. Great. I'm just giving a detail here. I wanted to know about much more detail about Vidyankar. The second step would be that it's like, what is actually happening here. Let's say if I need to do a research on this, I'll go in Google. I'll just check what all things are there. I'll go and click the links, get the data, put it somewhere, and then whatever the data I need it, I'll just grasp in my mind and then form the perception about it. Usually what we do, right? Also, if you want to know about much more detail, you go into each links and then figure it out what's there, what's not there. Usually if you are pretty interested, it's usually take a 30 minutes more or less to dig deep and then go about it. Let's say if you want to build for everything, it means generalized. Now this is the tool that you can generalize. You can start building your, let's say, LLM call you want to take because you want to know about the intent of it, intent identifications, and give some prompts. These are the prompts being given. Again, there are model being chosen. All the models again, because the interoperability is really heavy here. You want to build the guardrails along with it because now the tool step you have taken, and the thing is you don't want to share your PII information. Or let's say if you are building a chatbot in a global platform where no one give you or maybe abuse you, so the gibberish language or toxic language you can straight away guardrail it. No one can talk. It means how you can build your controlled application. It's not about just building, it's about building the sensitive, secure, scalable and reliable application. That's gonna be the part of everyone, and that's what the adoption of organization perspective. Let's say I wanna do the PII data. I'll choose on a multiple, maybe I can, because system prompts or maybe prompts that you are giving, it could be, want to control from there. or either the data should not go to model. What kind of data? Let's say email, phone number, or IP address or so. What do you want to do with this? You want to just fix it. It means it will mask. Nothing you want to do, or exception, it will not allow you to pass. It means somebody is asking, hey, give me this is my mail ID, what should I do? They will block you. It means they will not allow you to interact. And this is happening in a single tool step, by the way. There are multiple ones. The next is you are ingesting your Python code, because everything or anything is not available, right? It cannot be done from the platform. So you can ingest your Python code, or maybe that any other code that you can start building, and then run it from there. You can guardrail it. Also, you want to workflows it. You can directly workflow, like fork the condition. If this kind of stuff are there, where and what should I do? Now I'm doing Google search on that. By the way, this like the no code, low code. You know that if it is working, then what is the output of it, and this will give the comfort of the branches. And that's what I said. It's the era where everybody is reset. The advantage of the front is who is knowing a bit of engineering, they have the much more advantage. But if you are not the students and then anyone that who know about it, they can start exceeding it in those areas. Now this is a multiple steps. Let me run this. Oh, it's running now. Now what it is happening here, it's going to and it's happening at real time, where it is going to the LLM, Google, scraping the links, going through the different knowledge base. Now web scraper is running at runtime, and prepare a report that we have given the prompt about it. Hey, give us about the all. Now it's a guardrails. Let's see that what it comes. Great, here is the output. Okay, great. This is the overview. This is the accreditations. This is the courses offered, campus and facilities. This is about the student lives. This is about eminent visitor and guest lectures. Great. This is industrial exposure. This is placements and career opportunity. This is the testimonials. This is the conclusion, and this is the recommendations. This we build it for where we need to take money from which investor, by the way. So this is what, because who we are going into it. So that's what the reason. But yeah, so just give a glimpse of it. Now come back to that, what would have been happen here. See, if I'm saying, hey, this is great, but there is a lot of stuff is happening behind the scene here. Now if you go in a tracing where you see, right, this is the LLM call happened, this is the company name, this is the output, this is the latency. It means this took seconds. Now the next is Python code took us 3.48 seconds. Now Google search, there are 5 times Google search happened, which took us this much seconds. Now let's dig deeper. You said, hey, you might be just doing because you are coming here and then you just want to impress us. This is the, let's go into the beginning. This is what I have inserted. This was the Python code, and this was the, the store the file links. Now going through each links, and these are the, the URLs that it is getting it from the Google. Shiksha, there is VSIT, then Facebook also, Glassdoor as well, Sales Shark, Shiksha, there is, if you go another ones, it will figure it out. By the way, it's scrapping the one of the public, and please block this. Okay. There are others as well. So I think the idea is it will go through the links. We restricted into, again there are 3 top links, and then we are scrapping each links and preparing a report as well. So this is what you are getting it into. Now you want to, let's say, take this and how do you use it? What you will do? This is direct integrations. This is the tool, let's say. This was, there are multiple ones. This was the tool we are talking about. You can directly integrate with your API and webhook, you are done. And it means you can scale the way you want. That's it, by the way. And if you want to make business out of it, do it. And we are using the real AI here. That's like, if you want to do the open source, closed source, any of the flavors, though you should know a bit of it. Now let's say you want to use this tool into multiple agents. By the way, the future gonna lie within the AI also regarding the tools and agentics. that's the future. If you guys are interested, go there. That's the much more better, and that's gonna be really rocking. Now I'll take any of the, agents. These are the agents here. I'll take this first. This is about the one of the doctors, they monitor a glucose monitor for each patients in US, specifically, which let's say what are you eating, and the data is traversing from your IoT devices. Let's say you wear a watch or something sort of, your heartbeat and your glucose level and other part. And this is not about its, minutes data, it's about hours data, weeks data, and months data, and from there they take a conclusion, hey, if your glucose level is increasing sharply at this hour, what you have eaten before that? Is it happening from the chronic way, or how do we treat you? And this required at least, by the way, a 30 to 45 minutes for each doctor to identify it, those kind of patterns. Here you just quickly do that. The first is what kind of data you are ingesting. It's not straightforward as well. It means you use the different tools. Here it is being used different tools. I'll show you here, which the CGM, the food ones, and the intake data. Citation is nothing but where it is being referred from. I mean, what kind of document it is. You can directly, by the way, we are building AI agents here. You want to just upload your file, because doctors say that, hey, this is the file, I want to know about it. They can directly go. And this is the real use cases I'm talking about. You want to go for guardrails and all, you can start building. Voice configurations also you can start doing, depend on the same agents you can do. Since this is usually we can't take any input from names or emails, because it's a patient data which is highly classified. And though this is the test data, for them it's let's go, no problem. So this will give all the metabolism report for this particular patients. It run through all the part of it. It goes into multiple tools. Here it is using 3 tools at runtime. Find out that what it is happening. Give you all the results about. It will take a minute because it start processing. Take that all the analysis at real time and give you all the snapshot of data. Great, it start coming. So this tells us, hey, this used the different tools, which your activity data, your food data. Now all the dates of data, which is what was the percentage time range for the particular date range. What is the key insight? By the way, this is the bigger data, since this is, if you see, right? It's a tabular data for all the aspect of it. Let's go up. What is the maximum? What is the minimum? What is the average? Since because of this width, it's showing like that. All the key insight about what was the overall glucose control, what is the estimate HbA1c, and glucose mean, and the glucose variability. And this is the very, very true data where the accuracy is really, really high, and it's build the graph on the particular data set they have at runtime. And this is about all the insights, and then you can start building. So this is a one part of it. I'll just give one last here, and I think we'll be finishing quickly. By the way, you will quickly see it soon in some of the legal aspect in India. This is being built for that. Where it is? Where is the voice control here? Hello. Oh, nahi. Hello. Your voice is. No, your internet might be issue then if it is connecting. I don't know. Okay, maybe. Okay, I'll just skip it. It seems like that it would have been fun. So yeah, okay, idea was like, you can talk to the real time. Anything you want to ask, that's about all the legality of it. It's much more relevant specifically for me if any guy on traffic police caught you. It says, hey, what should I do if someone just asking about the licenses, because most of the folks doesn't know. If I want to talk to in real time because they can't seize it, what all the IPC, let's say hit and run cases, you can really talk to it the way it should be. It's talk about all the legalities, let's say, and there are definitely a negative aspect of it. Even if you did the murder, you can ask it, hey, how do I avoid it? Because what all the penalties and everything. Even if you want to, because it's all about the laws and their interpretations. It has gone into the different IPCs, it gone into the court commentaries and verdicts. So it predict you in that way, hey, if the similar kind of situation happens, and then lot of the verdicts came around it, what all the interpretation, it gives you that. Also you can control it, okay, how it should be. I'll just show you how we did it. What was the tone and communication style, how you should behave, how you handling the contextual information, what kind of user engagement and interactions, and those you can type it and tell it. It will do exactly that what you say. It will not emit any of things. How you should use these tools and all, and then you make it, and we are forcing it to the particular, hey, if anyone asking, go for here. So it means you are forcing it. You are building applications that is required to do that. Let's say if I'll say save and publish, you can directly connect, again, you're done. You can have the SDK, then people can talk real time. So this is what I was talking. There are many other things here as well. I'm not going into it. You can have the transcriptions, you can have the connections. There are 300 plus connections here, which you can start building your application straightforward. That's what we are talking. Since it's a no code, low code, it's easier for build rather than just and it gives you the direction where and what I should learn to build it. That's it. Cool. I think it's in lieu of time. I just, stop it here. And thank you so much. Such a lovely audience. Bye. Yeah.
Thank you, Sandip sir, for showing the demonstration of SimplAI and explaining it with different interesting use cases. I'm sure our students will explore more. So thank you again. Moving forward, let me take this opportunity to introduce our moderator, Mr. Chintan Oza. Chintan sir is founder of Anantam Ecosystems and the regional director at Founder Institute with 24 years of experience in technology and startups. An alumnus of IIT Mumbai, UC Berkeley and Oxford University, he has earned recognition from NASDAQ and holds a certification in innovation and technology commercialization from Georgia Tech. Throughout his career, he has led global telecom projects with Reliance and Tata Group and has mentored over 320 entrepreneurs across 6 continents as the leader of Founder Institute's Mumbai chapter. His contributions include authoring books under World Bank project, active involvement in PMI, IEEE and other prestigious organizations. As the India region lead for IEEE entrepreneurship, Chintan sir organizes impactful virtual events and serves on various advisory boards. He is also council member for Startup 20 under G20 and a co-founder of IEEE's Quantum Information Technology Work Group. Additionally, he has spoken at notable forums including BRICS Innovation Forum and UAE's COP28 Summit. I welcome Mr. Chintan sir on the dais. I would like to invite our head of the department, Mr. Umesh Koyande. to present a memento to Mr. Chintan sir. We now move on to our panel discussion. So I invite all our distinguished guests on the dais. Over to you, Chintan sir.
Thank you so much. Please join. So until this session, we all believed we know generative AI, and that is the best all we can do or we can learn. But I'm sure that all of us are convinced that this event has refined our understanding and curiosity so that we are able to navigate further with better confidence. I am indeed thankful to management and leadership of VSIT for giving us this platform, and I am also grateful to our panelists for sharing their valuable insights and time with the students over here. So with this, let us quickly have an overview. I mean, ये सबने भी तो थोड़ा बहुत ज्ञान दिया, तो मेरे को भी तो थोड़ा ज्ञान देना पड़ेगा ना. I should not be left out. So I thought, let me quickly ask generative AI about adoption of generative AI, right? And that is where it says 72% of enterprises are utilizing AI in some capacity as on date. 65% of organizations would be using generative AI during 2024. And 2/3 of organizations are considering to invest into generative AI. So that is where I guess the color of the season, the flavor of the season is going to be generative AI. And with this, let me straight away turn to our panelists and ask couple of questions to them. We start with Sandip. So Sandip, tell us, I mean, what prompted you to build a platform on generative AI?
Okay. So first thing, there is a huge gap, right? I mean, see, though I shared my bit of sense of it, why it's got started, but still there is a huge gap in enterprises. Specifically, if you see Fortune 500 or large enterprises, they always has the gap about the talent. Specifically, I'm talking about the tech talent, where because they don't manage the large engineering segment, they usually go for outsource it. It's a usual, right? And they have the lean teams of, the teams in tech usually. So there is a huge opportunity, but the gap, because they are large machines, they have the large systems. It's not easy for moving them to faster. Now at the same time, who will evolve for them? So there is a huge gap. Also, there are a lot of incumbents. I think we talked about it, even the big techs, be it you take Amazon, you take even Google, you take Microsoft, Oracle, all the clouds one. So if you see Oracle and the Intel, who are in the less of adoption, they still doesn't have any sort of stuff. Though Amazon came with the Bedrock, and Google came with the Vertex and SageMaker, and Microsoft came with the other strategy, they're building the studio, and then because they all wanted to, grab the pie of which is exist, along with the protect their own businesses as well. Because people start moving, the wave is like that. So the gap exists, how do you serve that gap? And more or less, while building an application, you required a 5 to 6 type of pillars, models, the data, because that they were not going to give it, or definitely how do you operate on large set of data. At the same time, there is a gap of solutioning, because none of the big tech will solve their problem, because there is a customization is also required, specifically for the large enterprises and all. Along with it, skepticism of adoption, right? Because these are the things which is gaps, and while building you need required a guardrails, tracing, multiple pieces of it. And if as a company you want to go for, let's say, 5 different vendors, 5 different technology partners, it's required a lot of effort and time to do that. And that's what came into, hey, if anything or everything that you can start building and easy to use, I think it's gonna be game changer. Definitely that's required, and it's a tough job to do, but at the same time that's what we are here for, to do that even. So I think that's what the thought process while starting.
So in fact, I mean, follow-up question to you would be, do you think that aspiring entrepreneurs sitting in the audience can use SimplAI to create their startups?
Absolutely, I think there is no ambiguity. I mean, I would say for the matter of fact, right, it gives you the wings. See, first of all, any idea, believe me, because a lot of people, and I think till this date I'm answering a lot of VCs, including Bay Area to any countries I'm talking, hey, why not the big tech will overcome you and start building? I said, anyhow, if you are comparing me with Google or let's say for Bedrock, I'm to just like, on there, it means the first. Second thing, it's hard for them that the kind of navigation we can do as a startup, you didn't see the lot of functionality. I think a lot of people from the top layer itself I have met, they're just amazed. What are you able to build it? It's amazing. So never say that it's like, hey, you can't do. Definitely you can do. And watch out us, we want to make it big leaps. I think we are confident. And we will do that. So as simple as that, don't think around it, at least test your, guts. Go for it. And this journey is not today, right? It's been 15 months gone into the top 1% of people that's building heads down. So I think, in my opinion, if you have that kind of caliber, and largely because I am pretty much optimistic about India's next level talent, reason being because we are building that engineering strength, and we are building the number of engineers every year is the highest number of engineers. If you take them to the mainstream line with this kind of stuff, I am telling you the workforce that gonna build. And I think for yourself folks, I think you can do amazing in next 2 years or 3 years, because so it's the game change.
Maybe I would say that SimplAI can be the operating system for you to build a generative AI startup.
Yeah.
It is integrating all the pieces what you need to build a startup. Let me go to Madhavi. Madhavi, tell us, your experience about what prompted you and what got you interested in generative AI, and what it takes to get into Amazon, right? I mean, because students out here, the favorite question they would like to ask, what it takes to get into Amazon, and how you got interested in generative AI.
Okay, first question is pretty simple. One answer and one line answer. Be a techie and you will be in Amazon. So Amazon is a highly technical place where everybody you talk to is into technology, is into cloud services, and that's the door opener for you to be in AWS. As I said, all my 20 years I have been into technology field. I started as a software developer and gradually moved into mobile application development and eventually cloud application development, and that's how I landed here. What was it?
So first one was what it takes to get into Amazon, and second one was how you built your interest in generative AI. How was your first encounter to generative AI?
Yeah. So see, like everybody else, as a human being, I'm passionate about this new technology, right? Everybody wants to explore, and so do I. On top of that, all my customers that I interact with on a daily basis, I'm a solutions architect. I work with enterprises, banks, manufacturing customers. So all those need to adopt, or they are in the phase of exploring what they can do with generative AI. And that is one of the boosters that I get to go and dirty my hands with certain experiments, certain POCs, and learn the technology hands-on. So one experience that I have gained so far in my 20 years. Unless you roll up your sleeves and dirty your hands into the code or the technology that you are trying to explore, you will not get the confidence and knowledge that you require to perform your job. So how much ever you read, I am not saying ignore reading or ignore learning the concepts, but the practical experience, practical hands-on experiments is very much required to gain that knowledge fully or that concept fully. So that's how I am exploring generative AI. Yeah.
Thank you so much, and maybe let me move on to Chetan. So, sir, you have been interacting with business leaders, and part of your job involves a lot of CXO engagement. And what do you see when you interact with these business leaders, these CXOs? What is on top of their mind, how they are excited, and what is your feeling about adoption of generative AI?
So, when I talk to any customer, the primary objective they have is maximizing shareholder value, right? The more revenue they make, the better they perform in the market, they become the market leader. This is seen in our conversations with all the CSOs, C-suite with multiple clients, right? And when we talk about something like generative AI, their core business is never IT. If you look at a lot of manufacturing conglomerates, right, they are into maximizing revenues through their product. If they want to focus on their core, which is their product they sell to the customer, if they are engaged in doing smaller things which is related to IT, repetitive activities, which take away their focus from their core business, that is something they want to avoid. And if something like generative AI, for example, in a lot of places they store data up to 7 years or 10 years in countries depending on their legal laws, right? Because at any point in time they want to show from a compliance perspective or from audit perspective, they have to generate reports, something which is sent to a customer, let's say 4 years back, what has gone into making of that product, right? Where will they get that data? And if they want to get that information at the tip of fingers, then they would automatically turn towards something which is giving them faster answers in a very short span of time. That is how I see a lot of customers are very curious about using this new technology, which will reduce their time to focus on mundane tasks and focus on their core IT, core business.
Thank you so much. And let me add something more to what my fellow panelists have added. So earlier, people who knew Python could code in Python. And now people are saying that generative AI is going to take over the coding jobs. But with today's session, we can consider that it's not going to be automatic. People who know the generative AI tools will deal with generative AI tools, and they would make the code generation faster. So definitely AI is going to take over the job of coding, but people who know how to use these tools would be at the forefront, and they would still be, getting certain jobs. So definitely the code generation, the speed for debugging is going to get at exponential speed, but then we would need people who would think of new features, new product requirements, as well as sales, pre-sales and other analytics would definitely be in demand. And before we conclude today's session, I would like to ask Madhavi, I'll ask all my fellow panelists, what is your feeling for the event? What is on top of your mind? If you were to summarize your experience about today's event in just one word, what that word could be, and what would be your advice to the students over here? So 2 questions. One is, if you were to summarize your the feedback about today's event, what that one word would be, and what would be your advice to students?
See,
In one word, I will say it's a wonderful event. Thanks for inviting. What you are trying to do here is bridging the gap between the students who are about to get to the market, job market, and the professionals who have had their share of experiences, their share of learnings, and you are bridging the gap between the two so that we can learn from each other. Right now it is one way probably, but it's phenomenal to share our experiences and our share of knowledge with this young audience. So yeah, it's a fabulous event. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And your advice to students?
I think I partly covered. So be thorough with what you are doing. That's the general saying. Everybody must have told you this. You are getting into a technical field. It's a very exciting, challenging field. And there also, whichever field you choose, like I showed many skills that are upcoming now. Be thorough with those. That's all. I mean, all it takes is being thorough and being really into it, and you will land where you want to land. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And we go to Sandip. Sandip, if you were to summarize your feedback about today's event, just one word, what that word could be, and the second one would be, what would be your advice to the students?
Bad at advice. Okay. I think it's amazing audience. That's what I feel along the way. Amazing, full of energy, and after 3 hours you still sitting, it's, I would say, I would have just gone out if I would have been in there. Usually because students can't be sitting, I can feel it. And there is no advice, folks. I think I would say keep on building. What's just that era you will not get in your life, none of us can get it. That's what I particularly believe, but I think keep on building. That's the point.
Thank you so much. And with this we go to Chetan. Chetan, tell us one word feedback about today's event and your advice to the students.
Sure. First of all, I would like to encourage VSIT for doing such programs. It is a great platform where students get real life exposure to the industry experts and see what is happening in the market, right? And for the students, it's an amazing opportunity because you get to know what are real trends, how organizations are operating in the real life. And one thing, make sure that you always have that attitude of out of the box thinking, because change, as we say, is constant, right? We will always need to challenge what is stable. Unless we do that, these things will never evolve. This is an evolution that we have seen over a period of time. Technology has evolved drastically, and it is evolving even at a very faster pace right now. Things were slow now. With things like generative AI, there are immense opportunities for you to explore new things. So please take this opportunity and ensure that you are ahead of the game. You are learning new things and you are taking this opportunity to enhance your own personal skills, getting into the first wherever you are going to take your career leap, right? So that's a big thing that you can do. This event has been a brilliant event. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And with this, let me quickly get 3 questions from the audience, one each for each of the panelists. Can we have some mic with the students? We'll take 3 questions and quickly wrap up. All right, so who would like to ask a question? Yeah, go ahead. आजा इधर ही आजा बे. Come. Use the podium mic. Use the podium mic, else. Yeah.
Hello.
Others are also asking.
Oh, okay. All right, go ahead.
My question is to Mr. Dinodia. Basically, as many of us are aware about DevAI, which is the first AI software programmer, and its efficiency is around 14% in solving questions. An average software engineer can solve around 80 to 85% of problems. So how much development do you see in this generative AI, where how much improvement from 13% to what extent it can go? That's my question.
Interesting. Okay, I think it will be to certain extent. If you want me to quantify, let's say down the line with the data, it goes up to above 90%. I don't know, is maybe the 99 or whatever it would be, 95, 98, but with the data, it should be that, because the capability exists today, what I can see. I don't see any challenges as well. Okay, it will not overcome. Also, the lot of levers that are building with the building blocks, right? Let's call it, if I'll put it some of the technical jargon here, which let's say be it reflections, be it multi-plannings, be it multi-agentics, because it can improvise themselves even. If there is a mistake, they can identify and rectify also. So I believe that it can go up to that extent. There is no ambiguity. Maybe it will take some time for sure, but yeah.
But don't you think that if it actually happens, let's going up to 90%, then instead of, let's say, if you're hiring 50 engineers in a particular company, you would actually need just 5 engineers and just use that similar.
By the way, this is not far. If I tell about, let's say, SimplAI, largely I might need a solution engineers, not the AI engineers or maybe coding engineers also, and it will require soon, because it will happen where the lot of industry gonna come to you. They will say build my POC or my piloting. I don't need coding engineers because we already obsolete it. First thing. Second thing, yes, absolutely that gonna be, because most of my coders as well, they gonna use that different part of it and building blocks sometime. I have seen it. Because it increase their productivity, and then even I can particularly relate. Until or unless it is not the IP, they can go for it. Because if you put the IP, then there is a problem. But at least, building blocks, because why would I waste my time? Frankly speaking, I would like to sleep and then, energize myself rather than, writing the same part. I mean, this is my perception, but I usually do that. I would encourage the same. Save your time, learn new things, and then move fast.
Yeah, so the company is also basically gaining from it, because you have to spend less resources in sense of financial aspects.
That will always happen, but I mean, forget about it. See, jobs, if you talk about in last 20-25 years, since the internet came until this date, there are people, you can find such companies where still are digitizing, still, forget about AI. So I think the things are there, but the point being how optimize and how fast you can do, and then start moving it. So if you say that 0 or maybe the impact 100% gonna be there. There is no ambiguity. You can't hide in a plain sight. The thing is how fast you can start adopting and improvise yourself, and you can start moving forward. And it's usually you can say that productivity increase rather than doing the straightforward way.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
If I may, sorry, I will just add my perspective here. So until today or until last year, coding or software developers meant coding, who can do code in different languages, and they were the hot jobs. But now, as he said, even if coders are not required, the requirement for jobs is shifting. The skills that will be required to get into a job are shifting. So if coding is not the hot skill now or going forward, data related stuff, ML related stuff, or to handle those applications, those kind of skills, DevOps, ML Ops, all those are the new avenues where you should explore. So if one door is closing or is getting diminished, there are a lot more other opportunities that are getting created with generative AI. So it's not a pessimistic or negative technology that will bring negativity to your job market. It is actually opening many more doors for you. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And with this, we'll take one more question. Yeah, please.
Okay, so my question is, how do you see generative AI evolving in terms of human-AI collaboration?
Can you repeat?
How do you see generative
evolving. Yeah, go ahead.
So, generative AI, if you look at its definition itself, it is something which is generating things on its own, human like, what humans do, right? It is always augmenting things to what humans could do in the past. Forget generative AI, look at robotics. When we have, if you go few years behind, people thought that when the robots came in, their jobs will be gone. Machineries were building cars. Did the car did their jobs go away? No. They started improvising on their skills. They went to do something better, right? Like that, even today with augmented GenAI augmented with human-like behavior, you can use human creativity to become even more better. So it is not taking away anyone's jobs. It is only going to give you an opportunity to do something more. Bring in more innovation, bring in new ideas that will help you to do something even better rather than doing coding. Nowadays, today, people are not interested in doing coding because there are automations that are coming in which write code on its own, right? So it's never that your jobs are going away because of technology. It is only giving you an opportunity to do something better than what you were supposed to do.
And think of new use cases like generative AI getting into elderly care, and new business line, new economy for social robotics evolving around us. So definitely these technologies, when they evolve and they converge with newer technologies, newer use cases will evolve. So that is where it's a good positive future out there. And thank you so much. And we move to the last question for the day. Okay, who'd like to go ahead? Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, respected jury, for addressing my question. So, as we can, my question is to Madhavi ma'am. So, with the risk of generative AI, what are the potential risks related to data, privacy and security, and how does cloud companies address these concerns?
Okay, so there are concerns and considerations around data security, data privacy, with whom you are sharing data, obviously, and that is where data governance is a big field, where the person responsible for the job will be responsible to understand and implement guardrails. So you mean guardrails, right? The rules and regulations that will define where my data is going, who is accessing it, am I masking my data, am I keeping my personal information or my customer's personal information. So all that will be covered under data governance. So all cloud platforms, without any exception, will have security controls and measures which will allow you to implement your own security posture in your application. What I mean to say is, if you are building a mobile application for anything, you will use at least login password, right? That is the mechanism that you are using in your application. But for complex things which are using generative AI, you will need much more complex security controls. Be it encryption, be it data masking, be it data governance. All those features are obviously provided by cloud providers, and there is again no exception. Not only AWS, all cloud providers will provide that. But the person who is in charge for data governance will have to ensure he or she is taking right measures while implementing that particular application. Okay? You want to add anything?
Okay, thank you so much, jury.
Thank you so much. Yeah, go ahead.
Good evening, speakers. So my question to us, question is for all the speakers. So what will be the impact on the creative thinking as well as critical thinking of an individual student of generative AI?
So real creative people and thinkers.
Critical thinkers of an individual student.
Yes, so that's what I'm saying. Real creative people, the real thinkers will adopt generative AI in a limited space and continue to their creativity. People with limited creativity and limited critical thinking will en masse adopt generative AI. So we will still have artists around, we will still have writers around who would do their own creative, they'll have their own creations, be it painting, be it book and all. There will be certain people who would like to become artists, but they don't know how to draw. They'll ask generative AI and draw it and then probably say that, see, this is what I made on a Sunday evening, right? That's what, that's likely to happen. That's
So will
fine.
it be positive or negative?
It matters how you see it, right? Because if you write a great prompt and then it generates a great image, and if someone wants to give you $1 million for that digital image, go for it. There are digital artists powered by generative AI. So it may happen so. Thank you.
Thank you.
Over to you, sir.
I'm sure there are lots of questions, and unfortunately we've come to the time when we have to say we'll end this session here, but hopefully we've proven that there is a lot of interest from the students in the area of generative AI, and I'm sure I'd like to take this opportunity to propose a vote of thanks. But before I do that, the one thing which I was observing all of you all, and I was looking at trying to find out what I can do, what I can tell as a summary of the entire today's session. And one of the things which I realized is there is a lot of concern about what will happen to the jobs, obviously, because you all are young, who want to start their careers in the near future, and really would want to know what you really need to do to be at the forefront. Mr. Sandip said that it would be ideal to go to sleep, let AI work, but I'm sure he too will agree with me that being an entrepreneur, he is staying awake more than he can go to sleep, making sure that he is ahead of the curve, all of the things about disruptive technologies with Amazons and the Accentures consulting all these firms. One of the things which is important is either you are the disruptor or the disrupted. So even as students, either you will be the ones who will be adopting these technologies early and finding innovative ways of using it, which our generation probably has not even thought of, or you will be the ones who are getting disrupted by the others. And I think that's one of the advantages with having this kind of technology available to you, is that you don't need to be in an American university or an European university to get access to the technologies which are at the cutting edge. In our times, we had to think about getting a kind of computers which are in America. We were just looking at it in videos, or if at all. You all have access to these technologies like SimplAI by just putting a URL in there. So I'm happy to say that all of you are better prepared, okay, to be the disruptors of the future. And I think I'll take this opportunity to thank first and foremost Chintan sir for having helped us with all the logistics and getting such wonderful panelists today. So you wanted to say something?
Yeah, so I just wanted, thank you so much. So I just wanted to add, we have come a long way from 3 people sharing one computer in a lab to using generative AI tools. So this is what the journey we have witnessed.
Yeah, now they have 3 devices per student. So, laptop, tablet, mobile, and then a college computer. So, yeah, days have changed. I must thank, Chetan sir, Sandip sir, and Madhavi ma'am for having taken time out, on a Saturday. I know how techies are. Getting them to work on a Saturday outside their homes means there is a lot of trouble at home. So they've taken that time out, form their busy schedules to come and speak to students, and I appreciate that. As an academic, I truly appreciate that. I would like to quickly thank all the people who've made this possible. First and foremost, Dr. Sarika Chauhan as Chief Academic Officer, who was the idea behind the entire program. The IEEE, VSIT student branch, big cheer to all of them for all the hard work. Getting all these students was not an easy task, going class to class, motivating them to come and to the session. especially for this program. All the teaching staff members who have been, toiling for a very big flagship program in the first semester this year. I would like to appreciate all our non-teaching technical staff. I know there were a lot of technical difficulties and they were running around to solve them. Thank you, each and every one of you. I must say, this was a wonderful event to begin, our flagship events for the year 2024. And we are hoping for much bigger things to come as well. But I'm sure this will be something memorable for all our students. And on behalf of VSIT, I'd like to thank each and everyone present today, especially to the students for coming in, even after not being worried about whether Maharashtra will be banned or not. But we've, defied all of that. We made everybody change their mind. So thank you all of you to be present and to be such a wonderful audience. So there is a feedback form. Please make sure that they are giving the feedback form. Handing it over back to Maitri.
I request everyone to please fill up the feedback form. Please ensure that your name is entered correctly because same name will appear on your certificate. So please fill up the feedback form.
I was asking just at least like it. That's it. That's what I'm expecting.
Yeah, many of them were Googling it while you were, while you were doing for Vidyananta, they were trying to find out about SimplAI. I'm the worst.
Why the sleeping ones? Because we can't able to get to sleep.
Entrepreneurs don't sleep.
18 hours straight. What is going on?
Everybody, smiles for the group photograph.
I request everyone to please rise for national anthem.